What's up, y'all? I got some beef, man. I got a negative, but there's always a positive if it's got the right intentions behind it. I'm making a video for all those who this may help in your struggles, and specifically for people who are involved in this situation. I have a little cousin who disrespected me and disrespected my mother, his aunt. This particular little boy is a lot younger than me, and I've always been like a big brother to him since he was about 3 years old, with a sick mother and a father who wasn't always there for him, going in and out of jail and stuff like that. I was always there, his big cousin. I was a plumber and I would take him on the jobs with me. He'll end up staying at my house for long periods of time. Him and another little cousin. I used to keep them together like brothers. Taught them all of the etiquettes of life that I knew, that I was learning. Took them with me to the masjid as a Muslim. All those type of things. And eventually, his father started coming back in his life after whatever was going on with him. His mother passed away, my aunt. When she passed away, it got intense, family struggle. So I had no power over that. I went on my life, had kids myself, raised my family. This little boy grew up with his father, who was in and out of jail. He had a real stressed life, man, real tough life. But this is the problem. I'm disrespecting my mother. All right, we'll get to that. So next, his father goes to jail one more time, come back out. This time, it was a crucial life changing, altering in his life, because he had to stay with some people who were supposed to be friends of his father. Not with none of the family, none of us. Nobody even knew where he was at. Okay, time goes on, and this little cousin of mine gets back with his father. His father gets out of jail again. All right, they spend some time together, and some bullies in the neighborhood beat my little cousin up. They slap boxing and trying to play tough, and my cousin was a little puny little guy who wasn't able to defend himself. And he wasn't a bully, but he got bullied this time by one of his friends. If you want to call them friends, you know how that go. You get bullied by people tougher than you. That's just how it is. Well, the boy slapped him up, mussed his face up. Guess what? His father and him called me, because I've been boxing all my life. I taught him a little bit as a kid, just to keep him having fun, him and my little cousins, but never really trained him. His father called me and said, "Hey, man," and he called me, actually. He called me crying, saying somebody smacked me up. "Cousin, please come over. I don't know what's this and that." So I came over. The people disappeared. I talked to his mother, his stepmother, and his father. Come to find out, Julius is kind of disturbed because all the stress that he went through and his mother passing. So only thing I knew was to teach him how to fight for real this time. So I told him to come stay with me for the summer. He came and stayed with me and my little kids and my wife. Everything went good. He fell in love with boxing, and I really got intense with him, and I got a lot of stuff in boxing in my imagination that only comes out if someone trusts me and I'm intense with him like that. So all the trainers know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I trained this guy for the summer. He goes back on. He wins a tournament. Okay, he gets a belt, big belt. I think it was called the Georgia Games, or Paul Murphy fit in one of them tournaments. It's semi-national. People come from all over the East Coast to box in this. And he won it. First time ever boxing in his life. This was probably like his 4th or 5th fight. And he won this tournament. All right, then second time we fought the year after that. I would take my money, spend my gas money, go to his house. Sometimes I bring him back and introduce him to everybody, let him work with me, make extra money, because I do plumbing for myself. So I was able to let him work with me, make money and all that. Try to teach him about Islam, try to teach him about morality. He was listening, but he never accepted it. You know, he had some deep problems. So anyway, I had to accept who he was and continue to teach him how to box. It wasn't so much about teaching him to be a boxer. I wanted him to, if he ever decided to box, it's easy money, but you got to protect yourself. So I taught him defense first. And I was so confident in my style that it's based upon protecting yourself first that I didn't mind teaching him and letting him get involved. Long story short, I ended up telling him to train at another gym with some other coaches because I couldn't get back and forth. I lived like 30 miles away from him, and I was spending a lot of gas coming back and forth. And you know, I was so enthused about teaching him because I love boxing too, so it was real fun. Spending less time with my own family. Took a lot of time out of my wife's time and my kids' time. You know, I did a lot of sacrifice for this boy. Spend a lot of money. Never asked him for a dime. His father praised me, said thank you very much and this and that. But secretly, he had an issue of control. He wants his son. But even though he's not able to do it all by himself, you know how they say a whole community got to raise the family. You know, he was trying to have them all for himself, but not even being responsible, in and out of jail and drugs and things like this. So anyway, after he got to a point where he understood my style and everything I taught him, he was real confident about being a boxer. He said he wanted to be a boxer. He could do this. So I said, cool, but you got to maintain respect for yourself, and you know, it's not about nobody owning you. You can train with anybody you want to train with, but the thing is, styles make fights, and you start off with a style. You got to make sure that whoever you train with is going to give you the good in that style while they're teaching you something new. They're not going to drop something to give you something totally different, because then it'll be like starting all over again. And I have a lot of experience in that. And I told them all the people I got, friends up in Philadelphia where I train with, and people who's doing very well right now in boxing. I got a trainer up there who's doing very well. Well, he ended up not really liking a few things about my personal life, me and him. You know, maybe my religion, I don't know. But whatever ticked him off made him feel as though he could do better with the guy that I told him to go train with. So okay, so you know, boxing is a pimp game, and I always told him it's a pimp game, you know. So don't be a hoe. So he went out and started training with this guy up in Georgia and up in his area. And at first I was with it, you know. I was like, "How you doing?" This and that. And then he stopped listening to me at all, and was listening to him. And he went with the guy, and he started getting beat up. So, you know, and I know why, because I'm one of them only trainers who focuses on integrating defense in your offense, working it together. People who know me on here know me and respect what I'm trying to say. But after he got beat up a few times, he, guess what, called me back. I said, all right, man, that's your first shot right there. I said, I'm gonna take you back, man, but I ain't got time for this. I'm tired of spending money and coming and getting you and this and that. So I told him he's gonna have to spend his own money. Now he's growing up, got him a car. It's a couple of years later since I started working with him, taught him about boxing, and now he's got a job. You know, he's been around thinking positive. He's not around those knuckleheads he used to hang with before he met me. His life changed for better, but his mind, I don't think, caught up. So this is why it comes to the conclusion of the problem we having now. after he came back again with me, we met a few times. I had to end up coming to him. Then I told him, look, man, you know, you train, you know what to do, and then I'll meet you over here so often. Don't worry. I told him, don't mess with none of these guys, because in Georgia, these guys, a lot of these trainers are based off of strength. You know, strengthening. They want to get you in top shape and you just blow somebody out, which is majority of boxing right now. You know, it's all about, you know, out-strengthening somebody, out-speeding them, and just dominating like that, but athletically. But I'm more of mentally. I'm more of skill-wise. That's how I want to dominate, be in full control of the fight. And I taught him a lot, man. I taught him offense, defense, broke down the styles for him, how to go forward, how to go backwards, how to stay in the middle, how to think, how to see, read people's movements, how to hit people and cause other things to happen so you can counter, you know, how to start something, how to finish something, you know, all these things I showed him. Spent a lot of time, man, and gave him a lot. All the experience I had coming up in Philadelphia, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Scranton, Pennsylvania, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Man, I had stuff that I couldn't do myself. I trained him to do, because sometimes you can get the knowledge and just don't have the time to really learn it, or nobody to teach it to you. And I explained it to him. You need somebody who care about you enough to just patiently with you and teach you this stuff. So I gave that to him. Long story short, after I let him train with this new guy, another trainer. He did the same thing. This trainer told him, hey man, I know Mayweather. I could take you to Mayweather gym. We be taking trips. We be winning all the fights, man. You know, your trainer really ain't got nothing. He ain't know what to do, this and that. He can't even afford to come over here. You know, we gonna go to Cincinnati all the time. We gonna get you fights. Yo, I'm gonna show you this. I'm see what you doing. You ain't doing it right. That ain't right. But he don't understand he was an unfinished product. And now that he's going to train with somebody else who have no idea about the dimensions of boxing, going to end up getting them hurt or getting them uncomfortable. So anyway, that's what happened. You know, he got with this guy, looked terrible, and started looking terrible, dropping his hands, not thinking 3 steps ahead. And that's what happens. If you ain't got a real good understanding of this game, a foresight, you're going to get hit. And that's just, it is what it is, you know, and it's going to be how tough you is. And he's not a tough kid. He's not a tough kid. That's why he got smacked up when he first started training with me and called me to help him, because he's not a tough kid. So anyway, time goes on, and finally, I wouldn't take him back this time. I ain't got the time. I was just done with it, you know what I'm saying? Time go on. I think I worked with him a few times. He's still my cousin, you know, and my aunt, on top of that, it's kind of like his mother, since his mother died. She lives in Philadelphia. So when she moved back to Philly, she said, look, he can come back here and this and that. And he wanted to go there because he talked to people that I introduced him to, or I told him about, I used to train with. I told him where to go in Philly. You don't just go in Philly and think you're going to learn boxing. They'll use you, beat you up. You know, so I told him to go to somebody. I knew a good kid who we trained with, a thorough trainer, one of the best trainers ever, definitely the best in Philadelphia. It's for amateurs. He knows how to mix defense and offense up. He's the foundation of what I know now. His name Howard Mosley. So anyway, he goes back to Philly and trains with a trainer that I introduced him to. And first thing is, everybody in Georgia bums, because this trainer, you know, can take you places. This trainer is successful. This trainer is like going traveling all the time. He got fighters. He got like 5 undefeated fighters and whatnot. So he's doing good. You know, whatever he's doing good. So my cousin goes there and disses everybody in Georgia, including me. Nobody's worth nothing now. Okay? Time goes on. And I go down to Philadelphia to visit my aunt and them. Say hello. he gonna argue with me in front of another kid about boxing, like if I don't know nothing. Like if this dude taught me boxing. All these years that I've been in boxing and all the knowledge that I gave him from my heart, he act like it was garbage. So, you know, in my family, certain part of my family, excuse my language, shitting on people is what they do to each other. Okay? Alhamdulillah, thank God I'm Muslim, so I know how to deal with it. And I'm not like that myself, because I could be just like that. But nevertheless, this cousin of mine, you know, time go on. So I didn't like how he argued with me in front of the other fighter, like if I ain't nobody. So I sent his trainer a letter letting him know, yo, I introduced you to my cousin, but he did some shady stuff. And I don't know, I didn't tell him what he did. I didn't get into that. But I said, I know things you don't know. You know, I ain't telling him my history, his history, and how mentally disturbed this kid could be, and how he did me, and I'm his blood. So, and I was around him when he was 3 years old. Since he was 3, I used to go pick him up and let him hang with me all day like a kid, like a son of mine. Nevertheless, he treat me like I'm nobody, absolutely nobody. And I'm the one who told him to put his hands up and got him fighting people that he's nowhere near experienced than, but I have him dealing with them because I teach him defense. Okay, so I explained this to his new trainer, and you know, of course his trainer gonna go back to him, and that was a big thing. Okay, you know, if the trainer don't believe me, that's on him. I did my part. Don't put my name in your mouth. Put some respect on my name when he shit on you. So if he shit on you, he might just get knocked out. You might shit on him, more than likely. His stupid self in Philadelphia, where they notorious for beating people down. Okay? And using you for a sparring partner. Okay, so I just wanted to get this out. And also, he disrespected my mother. It's really pissed me off. My mother, some kind of way, my mother found out about this, and she's always going behind my back trying to look at what I'm doing right and wrong so she can come get with me. So she talking to my aunt up there. My aunt up there disrespect my mom, talking about Julius know what he doing, this and that. And then he talked to my mother on the phone and hung up on her. Talked to her like she was not his aunt or nothing. So, you know, I'm putting this out there. You know, this is my cousin, who I basically helped raise, whether his father and anybody else like it or not. It is what it is. Nobody was there when I was taking this boy, buying him stuff from the store, taking him, buying him whatever he want, taking him and his cousin to all of the places I went, feeding him, you know, making sure he had this and he needed that, teaching him whatever education I can give him while you was in jail or whatever. And then when my aunt passed away, I was still there as much as I could be, but y'all took him away. And then when he come back after he get beat up, I teach him how to fight. And then he goes and shit on me by disrespecting my mother and going up thinking that he found a better trainer. I want the best for you. I hope you found a better trainer. But you're doing it with the wrong attitude. You're going to get yourself hurt. So this is only thing I can say, man. And, you know, from now on, man, just be quiet, man, because your cousin ain't no joke, man. And I'm not here making no threats. I'm just promising you. I'm your cousin. I taught you how to fight. I respect you, love you. That wouldn't hurt you. But I ain't no joke. I'm not stupid. You know, I'm not somebody gonna sit around and let you just slander me and then shit on me and make it seem like I ain't nothing. You know, you're a grown man now. I wish the best for you. I'm still here for you best I can be, but I'm never gonna train you or nothing like that. Never mess with you on that level because you don't deserve it. Then I just hope you don't get yourself hurt, man. And I hope this, reach out to your new trainer. That's still my cousin. Don't disrespect my little cousin. I don't beat him. Don't get him beat up there in Philly. You know, because I know how Philly is, and I know you don't care nothing about him. You know what I mean? Well, not that much. You know what I'm saying? I already heard you had him sparring and got his jaw busted up. So, you know, he never got hurt with me.